Welcome back to Her Expat Life. We are the YouTube channel that is dedicated to educating, empowering, inspiring, and uplifting female digital nomads, expats, and entrepreneurs to lead and thrive in a global lifestyle. So, we are a boutique global mobility firm that provides services to female expats and digital nomads who are entrepreneurs, creatives, professionals, and investors who desire to live a global lifestyle to expand their networks and their portfolios. Make sure to visit our website, herexpatlife.com, to get a comprehensive listing of our services. And as always, today we have a very inspiring founder and thought leader who is going to talk to us about her journey in HR and also her journey in founding her own AI platform. So today we are speaking to Elena Zangeeva, and she's going to be talking to us about Kvistly. So Elena is the co-founder of Kvistly, which is an AI-powered platform that crafts engaging quizzes in 1 minute for training and team buildings. The team believes in combining knowledge and excitement, ensuring full engagement and high motivation to learn. So Elena has a very, very interesting background with over 12 years of international experience in HR and recruitment globally, from the EU to the UK to the US to the Middle East to Russia. The list is ongoing. And she has established and scaled the people function from the ground zero at Sweatcoin. She's also managed recruitment for senior talent, specifically within the engineering and design teams at Bumble. So today we're going to tap into Elena's career path, and we're going to speak to her about her journey as a founder. Elena, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure, and I hope you're going to enjoy the upcoming 45 minutes.
I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will. If you have had the pleasure of attending one of our events at Barcelona, you've definitely met Elena
Yeah.
before. She's an active member of our community, so we're really excited to introduce her to everybody who hasn't had the privilege of being at our events. Okay, so let's dive straight into it, Elena. My first question for you is, what inspired you to co-found Kvistly, and how did your background in HR and recruitment shape the platform's concept?
Thank you so much for the question. Maybe I will give you like an overview. So Kvistly is AI quizzes for trainings, team buildings, and events. And it came from the need to engage people, especially in remote setup. Back in 2020, when we started working remotely, all our company culture was around our offices. Actually, we had incredible offices, we had incredible culture, and everything was around offline events. While COVID hit, it completely changed, and we were trying to find the way how we'll continue to like have this culture, engage those people, doesn't matter where they are. So we started looking for different solutions, and we couldn't find anything comprehensive and anything that would actually satisfy us, that would look good, that will be engaging, fun, and also we're going to learn something new. So we decided to create it on our own. But obviously back in 2020, it was completely different product. So basically we created trivia that I created manually that time. And our engineer, basically now my co-founder, Alex, he helped me to shape it from like technological perspective. And our main thing that time that we still keep it, and it's our main feature, is the poker inspired element, the betting system, which is ensuring 100% of engagement and making it more fun. As the HR professional, I always take care of my team, and I really take care of people that are truly engaged, not through the surveys or like questionnaires, but through like games and like connections and so on. So our mission basically is to empower learning and connection in real time with real people. Technology is developing right now, but people still feel very isolated, especially when you work remotely, so we were trying to find a way how we can connect people on different continents, different countries, and also have it like meaningful, not only just conversation, but also like learn something fun through the trivia.
And have fun as well, because I think that's such an interesting concept, bringing elements of poker into like HR training, and it's a very new concept. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that before. So
this is our know-how. This is our know-how. This is what is actually people like, this is our aha moment. People like, aha, I love it. It's so cool.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think a lot of times when people say HR, they don't associate the words fun and engaging and gamification with it, unfortunately. So I think it's really cool that you have a product that can help break that stigma and also
Yeah.
really foster engagement that serves everybody. So you mentioned very briefly the conception, the early stages of developing Kvistly.
Mhm.
What were the key challenges that you faced, especially when combining AI with learning and engagement?
So the initial idea came in 2020, but we started developing in 2023 because I continued to work. I was like head of people at Sweatcoin, and I was senior talent partner at Bumble, and I continued to work for other companies. And obviously, in 2023, when I think the third version of ChatGPT was released, I saw the opportunity. I was chatting with my friend and basically my co-founder Alex, and I was like, "Hey, do you remember we did this thing? Maybe like with ChatGPT, we can make it better, because we at that moment back in 2020 the main issue was, so the hardest part was to create a quiz from the content perspective. For me it took like 4 to 5 hours of research and so on, and to make it really interesting. And now with AI we can make it in minutes. So basically our value proposition for the educators, HR, learning developer specialists, is that you can create any quiz game in 1 minute about anything. You can upload your files, you can upload the text about you, about your company, and our platform will make it for you. So we will synthesize questions, we will identify correct answers, we will suggest wrong options but from the same category, we will suggest context of the question. So you don't need to go to, because a lot of like there are a lot of plenty of those tools, and sometimes
Yeah.
like our users, first of all they go to ChatGPT, they search for that, they create the quiz there, then they upload it to the platform. A lot of manual work. It took like 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, even with ChatGPT. What we've done, we like reduce it, and you can literally create it in 1 minute. It's like real, like you can try it, even sometimes even shorter.
Wow.
So
Okay.
actually, AI for us is not a challenge. AI for us give us an opportunity to build that one. And I took a risk. Yeah. So we took a risk, and yeah, here we are today.
Mm. Okay. So I guess in your case, AI is not the challenge; it's kind of the
It's
solution.
enabler.
It's
Yeah, it's
it's
enabler.
enabling your solution. But there's always going to be the concern or the element that, especially if you're talking about HR, that we need the content to be human centered, right? So how do you manage that? How do you manage that you're using AI to generate content or create these quizzes, but how do you ensure that they remain human centered, and to help maintain engagement and
Mhm.
excitement on a human level?
Yeah, so we have two modes of quiz creation. First of all, it's AI, and another one is manual. So you still can do a quiz about Alexia or about something that only you know. However, AI, I know it's not perfect. Like it still sometimes do mistakes, and we have a disclaimer. And no any other tool on the market can ensure 100% correctness now, like no one. So we make a disclaimer about that. And obviously I do, when I create quiz, I go quickly through like just fact checking. I just Google quickly and see if it's like if it makes sense. And also we created interface in the way that you can edit everything like in real time super quickly. With like everything is very intuitive, you just go there. If you don't like the answer, or you want to make the context shorter, or you want to change something, or you want to add some fun options, because AI is still not really humorous,
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's
if
where it
you want you can
loves.
do. So we basically made platforms super easy to navigate and edit and be like create your own quiz, yeah, but with the help of AI.
Mhm. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your background. So you have extensive background in HR, global HR. Taking this into consideration, how do you see technology, especially AI? It's the trending topic of probably the last 5 years. But how do you
Yeah.
see AI reshaping the future of recruitment and team building in general?
So AI was shaping our future in general, I would say. in the future of work and the future of our lives. And I believe that AI is going to make it better, but obviously in the right hands, with the right approaches. In terms of recruitment, I would say AI was existing long time ago, and there were experiments. For example, maybe I think even like 8 years ago, Amazon introduced their like learning algorithm. So they basically created learning the algorithm that were for screening. So what they've done, they upload all the data about successful hires to this robot, and algorithms supposed to screen CVs to identify those that they have to continue to invite, like proceed further on, like and invite for the interview based on their CVs. Based on the CVs of successful hires. So
Okay.
you get like they hired a lot of people. They like basically upload their data to this algorithm, taught this algorithm to identify key patterns of the successful hires. And what happened? It was complete fail. It was a scandal. Why? Because algorithms start rejecting women. Because
Oh,
majority of
wow.
the successful hires were men. So again, AI,
Okay.
fantastic thing, but everything depends on what data you fit in, you know? And obviously they closed this program. So now in ATS system, a lot of people say that they do screening on, like they are screening, there is a robot who making decision. No, there is not. Majority of the ATS system, they have like simple filtration about, so they ask you sometimes questions when you're applying, like, hey, do you need a sponsorship in this particular country? Do you have 2 years of experience in that particular area? Are you based in this particular location? And if it depends on your answers, then the recruiter filter you. And if there is some answers are no, but you need yes, they will just filter all those people who said no. That's it. There is no rocket science there. It's just manual work, just simple filtration to make a like selection of the candidates that are like by some organizational criteria suitable. However, AI makes our life like easier in terms of synthesizing feedback, you know, because sometimes during the interview, the feedback, like we, some candidates pass like 3-4 rounds of interviews. We have a lot of feedback, and basically to prepare dossier, to prepare or to rejection email or email with further recommendations, it's like it's a bit hard to analyze all this data in a short, especially when you deal with mass recruitment, or like not mass recruitment, but when you have a lot of candidates in the process. Obviously this is what makes our life easier. And in terms of team building, whew, I don't know, there are so many, like Kvistly is one of them, you know, all the companies now trying to introduce AI to their day-to-day life. I believe everybody uses it at work. I think companies have to think about how to use it like compliantly.
Yeah.
And this is one of the challenges basically. But I think AI is something that will be with us. It's like will be our co-pilot for the rest of our life.
Yeah, I think we're at the point where we have to accept that it is here. I don't see us turning back from it. But it's very interesting because I think there is a perception that we're at the point where yes, there's this AI program that's choosing who's going to work at which companies, and it's very interesting that you're saying until we work through this bias that AI is inherently learning from humans. Until we get over
Exactly.
this, we are still going to be very much humans hiring humans. That's
Yeah.
still the case
But
here.
I think, you know, there will be a race of professionals who are dealing with AI ethics, like lawyers. So, like maybe some people who study philosophy now, that they will look at this from philosophical perspective, but how the moral works on AI,
Yeah.
or there will be questions about like electronic vehicles and other things like, okay, if electronic vehicle make mistake, whose fault is that? Of the engineer or the AI, or like
The
how
owner of
those
the vehicle.
person, yeah, or like you never know, you know. So to answer those questions, I think it will be a race of people who are will be responsible to teach AI to be from like ethical to be moral and so on, and to avoid things like happened in Amazon several years ago, you
Mm,
know, to
mm.
be fair, you know, not biased, etc. But people are biased in general, and AI is learning from us.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, so in your previous roles, you've led people functions and you've built high performing teams. Okay, so how is this experience of building high performing teams? How does that compare to building a tech product? So, are there any similarities? Are there any differences? What skill sets did you bring across when creating this? Like, how can you compare these two facets of your life?
Maybe I would say it's not about the product because I'm not an engineer or product manager, but maybe about the company and entrepreneurship and how my previous experience building A-class teams helps me to develop my current company. Obviously, it's all about people. There are great products, like great people making great products, I would say. And when for me, the most important thing is, besides hard skills, you can find great doctors, you can find great engineers, you can find great marketers, great lawyers, etc. For me, the most important thing is values as well. Like what I learned at talent acquisition, like a lot of, why we have so many interviews. It's not only about the hard skills. Companies trying to understand if this person, this particular candidate, is actually suitable from our cultural perspective, because we work for corporate or for one company, but majority of people work for people in the end. Like people work for people leave people,
People leave people.
and
Yeah.
we need to have people who have same values. They value some same things that you value, that your company value, that your customers value, etc. So this is the key thing, I would say. You have to work with professionals to build something great, but it has to be also people that are passionate about the thing you're passionate as well. So I would say for me, particularly, I was working for different companies with completely different values, with completely different approaches to recruit people. And all these, for example, my three last companies have completely different teams. And I was trying to adjust my like sourcing, selection, etc., to find people who will be suitable for this particular role. I would say one of my talents that I noticed that people that I recruited, they working for very long for the companies that I recruited them for.
Nice.
And obviously it's not only my job. Also, I'm teaming with the stakeholder, with the hiring manager, to understand better what they're looking for, what they value in those people, why, and so on. So to make sure that we are on the same page, so we can be clear and transparent with the candidate what to expect as well. So majority of people like working 5+ years in the same companies. And I see they're growing, and this is amazing. And same for entrepreneurship. It's all about people. I As a CEO, I don't have to be an expert in engineering or product management. My strength is talent management. Obviously, now I learning how to do sales, how to do marketing, how to do other things, accounting, legal stuff. But my job is to make sure that we are, as a team, have with domain expertise in different area, different domains. Sorry, expertise in different domains, and to ensure that we can deliver together.
Very powerful. Like, I think one of the keys of being a good founder and a good CEO is exactly what you're saying, hiring the right people for your business. Yeah, especially in the early
Yeah.
days when you really need commitment and you
Yeah,
need
it's
people who,
crucial.
yeah, you need people who can see the value, see the big picture, and who believe in your mission. So, yeah, I think that's a very good point. Let's put ourselves in the role of an HR leader. So, what are some of the challenges that HR leaders or people in HR in general have with learning and development, especially in remote or distributed teams? And how can Kvistly help address these challenges?
Yeah. So I will give you some statistics. Like, have you worked in big corporates before?
I have, yes, quite a few years ago, but I've had, yeah, my fair
Yeah.
share of
Do
experience in
you,
corporate.
do you remember your last training session?
Training session. Oh, that was a long time ago, but I think I can remember it. Yeah.
Yeah. And was it fun?
No.
Do you remember anything from it?
No, not really.
I'll tell you that 90% of the material that you learn during corporate trainings and sessions is vanished in 1 month. If you're not repeating it every day and you're not practice or continuously learn, like after
Mm-hmm.
one session, 90% of material will be vanished in 1 month. It's like it's a study. This is statistics.
Yeah.
And another thing is like another problem now, while companies work remotely or hybrid, all the learning will be also most of the learning sessions now online.
Mm.
And when you force people to join those meetings online, they're joining, but in the end, they do like their own stuff, they do their work, they answering emails, they like do their laundries, etc., cooking. Nobody pay attention because it's boring.
Yeah.
Another thing is if it's a live session, it's good. But if it's not a live session, usually it's videos, pre-recorded videos that you have to. Another thing is another challenge is is to focus. To have your attention on the content. It's super difficult now because especially because of Reels, TikToks, etc. Our attention is like literally decreasing, especially you can notice by the movies how movies will look like in the past and how they look now. The picture changing so fast because our
Yeah.
brain gets used to it, and for us it's very difficult to look on the picture stable, like stand picture that is not moving. Two people are talking, nothing happening. For us it's a little boring, so we lose interest. So what do I see? Companies spend $1,300 a year per person for trainings. Every training requires 20 hours of preparation. You put so much resources,
Mm.
and in the end, the outcome is very, very low. Only 15% of people are actually engaged. When you engage, you learn. When you're not engaged, nothing gonna happen. Technically, you and me, we can study in Harvard. There's also many materials are on internet now for free, but we don't do that because we lack of motivation, we lack of engagement, etc. So what we do, we're helping to create the continuous learning culture. How? Because if your learning is continuous, your knowledge after the session will not vanish. So you will continue to create like more logical chains, in your brain. And we, through the gamifications, through competition, in the end, it's so simple, but people love to play. People love entertainment. So we are kind of creating. So you what you can do, you can upload your training, and you can say, listen carefully, next 20 minutes, because after that, we're going to play a game and the winner can get something nice. Of course, people
Mm.
going to listen. I have an example. I have a company that selling niche perfume. Niche perfume is super expensive. It's like 400 or 500 euros per bottle. Imagine uh, to sell this perfume, you have to know everything. What is it? Like the base notes, the heart notes, the central notes, where they found inspiration, how they build it, which country they get, like, oh, the perfumista went to the rose fields in Marrakesh to get it. And you sell a story. But
Yeah.
sales assistant is usually big sales assistant in the department store is pretty well paid job. Oh, sorry, low paid job, like
Low pay
very
job.
low
Yeah.
wage. And what kind of people you usually hiring? And it's like amazing. Imagine that you have to motivate those people to study all the material about all the collections of the perfume that you're selling. Nobody gonna do that. So
Mm.
what we've done, every month they send materials with a new collection or new products or new lines, etc. And they say learn, because after that we're gonna play a game and the winner can get one perfume, which costs a lot of money. And they started learning. They 65 sales assistants across Spain that work in the Corte Inglés, they do that. And another thing, what we also found that through this bidding system, we create emotional connection with the content. When you bid, your points, despite it's digital points, it's like it's not real money even.
Yeah.
You look very attentively what's going to be the correct answer. You'll be like, oh no, I'm gonna win, I hope to win. No. Or if you lose, you will always remember where you lost your points. you
For
will
sure.
you will forget the lost, like the answer that actually where you lost your points. So we're creating emotional connection and people like learning more efficiently. So without game, we're ensuring 100% of engagement because it's impossible to not be engaged. And if you miss one point, like context, or you miss the question, like you're losing chances to win immediately.
100%. Yeah. In my past life, I was an English teacher, and I had to teach a lot of kids and mostly teenagers, and it's very difficult to get a group of teenagers engaged in anything, especially at 5 o'clock in the afternoon when they're tired and they want to go home. And I found
Or
that
video
using
games.
yes, quiz games at the end that had elements of gamification in it were the only way that I could get these kids to actually sit through a grammar class and pay attention because they were so excited to play the game, and the minute they were competing against each other,
Yeah,
they felt like they could see the value, the short-term value of
yeah,
why they needed to sacrifice their time to be there. And
yeah,
honestly, without those platforms, my life would have been virtually impossible. So I can
yeah,
see definitely how this could translate into corporate learning, where a lot of times
yeah.
people don't really want to go for training. They kind of sometimes
No,
forced or feel like they have to get a promotion,
yeah.
or like it's
You
very
have to
rare.
do in the end, you have to do
You
that
have to.
because a lot of trainings are not about like interesting stuff. Most of them are about compliance, and you still have to do that because they're important. You know what one of my previous companies done? They literally ordered lunches for us to make
Mm.
sure that we will attend the training session because we're gonna have free food. No,
That's
this
a good
is
strategy too.
like you never underestimate the power of free food, but also with our game, if you offer something like merch, your corporate merch, a nice present or notebook, etc., to the winner, they also people love free stuff in general. Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
people love to
Especially
play.
exactly, especially if I know that I'm the only one who's going to get that, like as the winner, there's also that sense of pride and competitiveness that I think
Yeah,
drives a lot of
yeah,
people to
a kind of gratification, like, oh,
exactly,
I'm
exactly.
great. But also the good thing that you also during the game you learn something.
Mhm.
You're like, this is, people sometimes screaming when we play together.
Okay, let's talk a bit about your journey as a female founder. So, what unique challenges have you encountered in the tech and startup world, and how have you overcome them?
Ooh. So, what is it to be a female founder? Anytime you go to any event, and like I work, okay, my product is tech product. Mostly, I'm attending events for tech companies.
Mhm.
In general, in tech world, and not many women. I usually, when I go there, I'm the only one. Like I'm the only one in panel. I'm the only one who's pitching. I'm the only one who's like this is kind of um, I would say frustrating. And another thing is that majority of I hope it's going to change one day. um, they don't see in women the equal peers. Like
Yeah.
everything is quizzes, oh nice cute business. Oh, and what do you do? I do whatever fintech something, or like a blockchain. Basically, in the end, it's just crypto exchange or something like that. That a lot of people do. And this is actually it's a bit hard, to stand there to prove yourself because people are doubting you all the time. Because and another thing, like what I found challenging, because from the childhood, we as a women we taught to be ideal. We have to be perfect here, we have to study perfectly, no mistakes, etc. In the end, it's very difficult. When you're a co-founder, you're doing a lot of mistakes. When you're like starting your own business, you're doing a lot of, and it's so frustrating for women also to hear no all the time. It's very frustrating. While for men, most of boys are taught to be brave,
Yes.
right? Not
Yeah.
perfect.
Yes.
And it's completely different. With this mindset, you're like, okay, I'm gonna text this vice president. Okay, I'm gonna be brave, etc. While a woman, I'm like trying to find the perfect message. Who gonna introduce me? How, like, thinking 100 times before. And when I do mistake, I'm obviously way more frustrated, and emotionally it's way harder. And another thing that you probably know, that less than 2% of all the VC funding is going to female-led companies. Because again, because of bias,
Yeah.
when you think about investor, who you imagine? Usually men of middle age, like probably with a corporate background,
Yeah.
like a kind of this part. And while people are biased, they like people who look like them.
Mhm.
So who are you gonna give your money to another person who is look like you? So this is the problem of, because we have a lack of women in venture capital in
Yeah.
on investment side as well. And I love to see how women support women. There are more programs, more funds that are focused only on female founders. This is amazing. And another thing I read in Pitch Book for me was very, I would say, I was a bit frustrated by the questions they ask while they interview you.
Hmm.
When fund interviewing a potential entrepreneur, like entrepreneur that they're planning to invest. For male founders, they ask, okay, what is your go-to-market strategy? How are you planning to succeed? How are you planning to make money, etc. For women, they never ask men, okay, if you fail, what is your plan B? And another
Wow.
question that 99% of fans asking women, are you planning to get pregnant?
I thought you
And
would
it's
say
like,
that. I thought you
yeah,
would say.
maybe one day. So, and they still make decision based on that. Okay, she's 30 or 33 or 35 or whatever. She's probably gonna have kids.
Yeah.
You never ask a man. Men become a father. No, it's the kind of same thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, not exactly the same thing, but it's a yeah. It's still you're shifting to parenthood, which is, a
Yeah,
mindset and yeah. So there's still a lot of bias in the space. Then there's still a lot of that
yeah.
happening.
There are a lot of work to do. There's
Mm,
still a lot of work. First of all, to help each other, help women. We don't have to convince men to be different. This is like, but we have to convince women that they can do, and we can do it together,
mm,
no matter what. But for men, okay, I wish more men advocating for women
mm,
uh,
mm.
as well. Yeah, and how, hey, no, or like not being tolerate to their discriminational behaviors and so on.
Yeah, but I think it's definitely shifting to a mindset of instead of, like you said, putting the focus and emphasis on men to change, it's taking our seats at the table and helping each other as well. And I do see this a lot in female led spaces that the female community is truly amazing. In general, I do feel like females want to support and help other females in these spaces. So I'm personally quite optimistic that things are going to
Yeah,
change. Yeah, I wish it would change a little bit quicker
yeah.
than it
We
currently is.
need we need yeah we need to put a lot of effort now.
Yeah. Okay, so what advice, based on just all of the things you've just shared about your experience, what advice do you have for other female entrepreneurs looking to launch their own business, especially in the tech space, based on your experience?
Entrepreneurship in general, or any kind of work, um, when you're starting something, it's it's so tempting to give up, to stop
Mm,
doing it, because it's hard. It's hard to hear no all the time. It's hard to build. It's hard to deal with people, to deal with rejections, to deal with many other problems. To have your own business is super hard.
yeah.
But the payoff in the end, if it is successful, is great. So, how to make it successful? For me, the best thing is what I like always keep in mind is to overcome your own incompetence every day. What does it mean? When I was working in HR 12 years, I can recruit people like this super quickly. I can find anyone. I can engage any talent from like senior, like from associate to vice president of the company. For me, it's not a problem. I was working for very important big brands. I was working for smaller startups. For me, it was so easy. And like when I switched to entrepreneurship, it's not easy at all. Like, you go with all this your confidence to the new
Yeah.
area, and you're like, oh, actually, I have no idea how to do marketing. My first email campaign, you know what is it? I sent empty email to 300 people, like just team played, and like, but it was successful in the end because a lot of people texted me back like, "Hey, why you send me an empty email?" I was like, "Yeah, by the way, let's talk."
Guerrilla
Um,
tactics.
Sales terrible. I was sending long messages and short messages and this message that I was like, oh no, I actually have to ask questions. No, I have to actually first connect, have a coffee, and then to pitch or do that. My first pitch deck was terrible. Second as well. Third, not even better. But like I never did fundraising. I never
Yeah.
did sales before. I never did marketing before. Obviously, I learn every day you overcome this your own incompetence. And one day you're like, oh, apparently I'm getting better at that. Apparently I'm doing great at marketing. I'm writing better posts. I'm writing better emails. I'm closing deals.
Mm.
Or maybe one day I'm gonna fundraise like our first round.
Yeah.
And like this is advice that keep in mind that success will not come overnight. And every time, every day, you have to like basically fight with yourself and keep going and learn and do not give up. Raise again, fail, raise again, fail, raise again. My co-founder actually helped me to deal with that when I received feedback about my first fundraising pitch deck. There was like huge comment from one analyst and VC. I'm very grateful for that because I see he spent a lot of time like giving me this feedback. And there was like huge yellow sticker slide, like yellow stickers on every slide saying how
Yeah.
bad it is. And I was like, oh, it's so painful. I was near to cry. I was talking to my co-founder Alex, and he said, Elena, but why did you decide? Who told you that you're going to make this deck perfect from the first attempt?
Yeah.
I said, I spent so much time on it. I spent like hours, like, polishing it, etc., researching. He said, yeah, but have you ever fundraised before? I said, no. So again, who told you that you're
Mm.
going to be perfect from the first time? I was like, yeah, it's true. He said,
Mm.
you haven't been great recruiter from the first day. You've made a lot of mistakes as well. So now you do that again. So the only thing you have to learn from those mistakes and make it better, 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 better. And one day you will succeed.
I think
And I
this
was like,
ties
wow.
into, yeah, I think this ties into what you were saying earlier about like as females, we're kind of groomed and taught that perfection is what we should strive for. But
Yeah.
I think entrepreneurship will teach you that improvement is what you should strive for
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
perfection is not
Ongoing.
constant, ongoing
Yeah.
improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not perfection. No, don't wait for the perfect moment. It will never come. It's
Mhm.
like perfect. It's like we have to forget this, that we have to be perfect. It's, yeah, let's try. Okay. Doesn't work. Let's do it another way.
Yeah, trial and error and learning, taking the learnings each time
Mhm.
that something doesn't go the way you plan. I think that's really good advice. Elena, as we wrap up today's really great interview that we've had with you, we will include in the information box below the links to Kvistly's website and your contact details. But is there like a last message or something you'd like to communicate to our audience about Kvistly?
Yeah, so quickly, actually, one thing is that we were trying to find the way. We wanted to find .com domain and that sound also we wanted to sound like quiz, you know. So we
Mm.
started changing letters, change it, and in the end we got a Kvistly. And you know what it means? In Swedish, it means tweak. I was like, good. That
Oh,
it's not anything bad, you know. Sometimes with names, it's always tricky, especially when
yes.
you're building international product.
Yeah.
So I encourage everyone to try it. We have an absolutely free version up to 10 people. You can create quizzes for your birthday parties about yourself. Just put some facts about yourself, create a game, and learn who's your best friend who know you better. Also recommend us for your companies if you want to have a great team building or more meaningful and fun time, if you especially in the remote setup. And yeah, if you have any questions or feedback, please text me. I'm open on LinkedIn, and yeah, I'm always trying to reply everyone.
Amazing. Elena, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. And we've had the
Thank
honor of
you.
seeing Kvistly in person at our events, and the feedback we received was people loved it. So I highly, highly, highly encourage our audience to go and try it. And like you said, free trial, there's nothing to lose. And for those that want to connect with you, we will make sure we leave Elena's contact details in the description box below. So thank you, honestly, for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
For our audience at home, if there is anything that you would like us to discuss in future videos with Elena as a follow up interview, or any topics you'd like us to cover, please make sure to leave your comments in the comment boxes below. We do read your feedback and we would love to find out how we can best serve our community. Make sure to subscribe to the channel to keep updated with all of our latest interviews. Follow us on social media, join our newsletter, check out our website, join our community. All females are welcome. And until next time, we hope you have a wonderful evening and we will be back soon.